I think the rookie just exposed its biggest problem, and most people didn't even notice it. Because, yeah, episode 12 looks like a calm aftermath episode on the surface. But if you really pay attention, this episode is quietly telling us that some characters are moving forward, while others are completely stuck. And Lucy, she might be the only one who's actually evolving. So after everything that happened with Martin, this episode slows things down and focuses on the emotional fallout. And I'll be honest, this is where the rookie is at its best right now. Not the action, not the cases, but the consequences. Lucy dive, what the showing. Because Lucy's storyline, this isn't just trauma, this is identity. For the first time, Lucy is dealing with something the show can't just wrap up with a report or a clean ending. She took a life, and now she has to live with what that means. Not as a cop, but as a person. And that moment where she tells Tim she needs to be a good person before being a good cop, that's not just emotional, that's a shift. That's Lucy basically saying, if the job ever forces me to lose my humanity, then something is wrong. And this is where a lot of fans are split. Some people think she's doing too much, like telling Martin's sister the truth is risky and unnecessary. But that's exactly why it matters. Because Lucy isn't protecting herself. She's choosing honesty, even if it costs her. And in a show where most characters follow the system, Lucy is starting to question it. What fans are missing. And I feel like this is what a lot of people aren't fully picking up on yet. Lucy's story isn't just about trauma recovery. It's about how long she can stay in this system before it changes her completely. Or worse, before she decides she doesn't belong in it anymore. Now, Tim and Lucy, this might actually be the healthiest they've ever been. And it's not even about romance in this episode. It's about understanding. Tim admitting he's bored as watch commander, that's real. That's someone realizing the position they worked for might not actually be who they are. And Lucy doesn't argue. She doesn't make it a problem. She just tells him to make it his own. Simple, supportive, real. That's growth. But then we get to Bailey and Nolan, and this is where the episode kind of loses momentum. Because let's be honest, that Pentagon storyline, it goes nowhere. Bailey comes back, says it wasn't what she expected, and everything just resets like nothing happened. No real consequences, no real change. And that's frustrating because it feels like the show introduced something big just to walk it back immediately. Same thing with Gray and Luna. At this point, we've seen this play out too many times. It's the same conversation, the same tension, just slightly different dialogue, and now it's starting to feel less like development and more like the show doesn't know what to do with them, what it actually means. And then there's the Zuzu storyline ending. The server gets shut down, the AI is gone, and honestly, that might be the show quietly correcting itself because that whole AI angle never fully fit the rookie. It felt too detached, too easy. And if this episode proves anything, it's that the show works better when cases don't solve themselves, when characters actually carry the weight of what happens. And this is where everything connects. Because episode 12 isn't just about wrapping things up, it's showing us the gap between characters who are growing and storylines that are stuck. Lucy is evolving. Tim is questioning himself, but other parts of the show, they're just repeating old patterns. All provoking. So now the real question is, if the rookie keeps pushing characters like Lucy forward, at what point does the rest of the show have to catch up? Because right now, it feels like Lucy is already in a deeper, more serious version of this story, and everything else is still playing by the old rules. Let me know what you think. Did this episode actually move the story forward, or is the show starting to feel stuck? And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.